Hello, my bold and brave women. Kimberly Stratman here. Please quickly pull out your goals for this year, whether it's on your calendar, your day planner, a post-it note, your phone, wherever you have it recorded. Let's take a look at your goals and let's see what you accomplished and what you did not. Oh, you don't have them written down anywhere? Look at that. You have a great place to start. You could now start writing down, recording what your goals are for yourself personally, professionally, physically, mentally. Anything that you want to accomplish, you can now start writing it down somewhere. And you know what? That means that you have a higher probability of it happening. So there you go. First little nugget right there. But let's pull out what you have. And if you didn't have it written down, quickly make note of what you remembered you wanted to accomplish and like draw a line through, put a check, circle, put a star, whatever, what you did accomplish, and then what you didn't. Now, when you look at that, stop right now. You're not looking at that list and saying, oh, I'm a failure. Oh, I dropped the ball. Oh, I messed up. None of that drama. Okay. None of that drama. Please don't do that to yourself. And don't let anybody else do that to you either. Instead, let's think of what we can do in this next month. Now, granted, we do have like Christmas Eve and Christmas and some Jewish holidays and New Year's Eve and all that stuff in there. That might throw a kink in your plans. But let's look at what was on that list that you didn't get done this calendar year and figure out what you can do in the last month. Yes, you can still do it. Let's be realistic. If your goal was to, I don't even know, let's say you wanted to log 120 miles of running, probably aren't going to do that in the last month of the year if you aren't already close to having done that. So change your goal a little bit, make it realistic. How many miles could you run this last month of the year and feel like you have actually accomplished something? Maybe it's walking, maybe it's riding your bike, maybe it's rowing. Who knows what it is? Let's look at reading. A lot of people have reading goals. They want to read 10 to 20 pages a day of a nonfiction book. And they realize they haven't really done that. So instead of saying, oh my gosh, what have I done? Ask yourself, why did I want to do that? Maybe you wanted to do that because you heard somebody else was doing it. Maybe you just picked a number out of, I don't know, out of a monkey's butt and decided that was the number for you. Maybe those numbers don't really matter to you. So say, okay, I wasn't able to read 10 to 20 pages a day. Maybe I could have read 5 pages a day. Or maybe you say, I don't want to read nonfiction. I only want to read fiction, or I only want to read self help, or I only want to read about, I don't know, third century artists or something. So, be reasonable in what you say you want to do. I'm not saying to make it easy for yourself. I'm saying make it matter for you. Make your goals matter. Much higher possibility of them happening. Were your goals relevant? The things that you didn't get done, were they relevant? I know there's some people that once they pick out a goal, they have to obtain that goal, they have to accomplish it, or they feel like they're a failure. There's other people who are like, I don't care about that one anymore, I'm not doing it. What I invite you to do is to be honest with yourself. Does that goal matter to you? If it matters to you, let's work on it. Let's break it down to where it's more obtainable. Set yourself up for success. Find out what kind of support you need to accomplish that goal. If it truly doesn't matter to you and it doesn't make a difference to your income or to your life or to relationships with others, maybe don't do it. Maybe don't do it. I am very curious of what you can do in this last month. I'm very curious of what goals you had written down for this year. I'm very curious on what you accomplished. I'm very curious of why you wanted to accomplish it. I'm curious. I am going through life curious. And you know what? That really makes life good. I'm not just curious about myself, but I'm curious about other people. It's crazy what happens being curious. So, did I accomplish all my goals for this year? I did not. I'm okay with that. Some of those goals are going to transfer over to next year. Some of them are not, they're not on my list for next year. I'm not going to say never. Maybe they'll come back sometime. They just don't matter to me. Others, I don't know why I didn't write some of them down because they were actually very important. And get this, there are things that matter to me now that I didn't know existed or that didn't matter to me at the beginning of the year. So, how could those have been on my list? So, our list, I would suggest, should be a living, organic thing. It should flow, not necessarily written in concrete. It should flow. It should be alive. It should be flexible. We should be able to add to it. We should be able to take away from it. But ultimately, it should help us be better people. It should help us have healthier relationships. It should help us do better in the world. It should help us help us. It should help us. And that's what I like to do. I like to help people help themselves. I want you to go through life feeling that you have lived. I want you to look back on this month, this year, this decade, this life that you have and think, did the best I could. Maybe I could do a little bit better. I'm going to stay curious. I'm going to record my goals. I'm going to make every effort to accomplish them. I'm going to give myself grace and honesty when I review my goals, when I make my game plan. I'm going to share my successes. I'm going to look closely when I've dropped the ball to see why it happened. There's a lot of juicy lessons in failure, let me tell you. And I'm going to support other women. And they don't have to be just like me. They don't have to think like me, but I'm going to support their efforts. So, again, thank you, my bold and brave women. I am Kimberly Stratman. I'm a certified life coach, certified retirement life coach. I have a couple other certifications going too. But ultimately, I want to use all my life experiences, all my training, all my certification to help you help yourself. I do this by asking questions and inviting you to ask yourself questions and inviting you to answer the questions honestly. And when you don't have the answers, don't get upset. You don't like the answers, don't get upset. Let's just look at it. Let's kind of massage it a little bit and see what thoughts come to mind, and then see what emotions are tied to those thoughts. And then look at our actions, and then look at our results and see, do we have the kind of life that we want? Because we're in charge of that. We are in charge of our lives. So that's what I like to do. If you liked this video, please like it. Please subscribe to this channel. And I would love to hear from you. We've got one more month left of this wonderful year. Let's make it happen. Let's make it worth something. Let's find the joy in it. Okay, hold on. I'm not telling you to wear yourself out. I'm not telling you to make yourself tired. I'm not asking you to jump through hoops. I'm just asking you to identify what matters to you. And if it matters enough to make it happen, then make it happen. Best of luck.